I know why. You guys can probably hear me now, right? One second. I know why. You guys can probably hear me now, right? Yeah, Mountain Mama's back there. All right, I figured it out. Something new since we you got it now. Yeah. Um, so the Mountain Man now has, well, I don't know if you can see. I got magic ears now because apparently I was as deaf as an 80-year-old. Um, trying to fix my light. I'm not used to doing anything in here. Um, yeah, my hearing from years of sports broadcasting and radio and being in gyms for sports writing and stadiums and stuff. Apparently, my hearing was shot, and I got tired of saying, "What's that? I can't hear it. What? Say that again." And so went and saw the audiologist finally here a little while ago, and she says, "How old are you again?" She said, "I wouldn't expect to see this level of hearing loss in somebody younger than 80 years old." So, yeah, I've got the hearing aids now, and they're magic hearing aids that I can hook to my phone, to the computer. They hook up to my Peloton actually, and it just goes straight into my head. And so it's like I'm constantly wearing AirPods, and the my laptop was connected to that. So that's where the apparently that doesn't talk to StreamYard very well. I can actually talk on the phone through them and stuff like that, but apparently it doesn't work StreamYard, and my computer automatically connected to them. So it took me a minute to figure out that's what the that's what the thing was doing. But yeah, sorry about that. Super awful start there. But yeah, we're I was saying we are now part of it's called Bella's Auction House, and I and Mountain Mama, who's sitting over here, I promise she'll stop in at some point here in the next little bit. um, we're a five-way partnership on this, and we are buying collections, we are consigning collections, we're looking at maybe at some point doing estates. We'll have a live auction, I think, in the spring. And so lots of new stuff in the new. We're still doing reselling stuff, 100% for sure. But this is just the new add-on, and it'll take a couple years to build up. You know, it's a brand new business, but the hope is at some point maybe this can even become the primary, and then you can go back to just doing uh, eBay for fun, right? And you're not counting on it every week, every day for the money to come in, less stress. You know, I'm hoping that the auction house will build itself up to be the primary source of income for us and the primary job. And fun. We're still doing uh, pretty much what I did. I mean, I'm the one in charge of listing stuff online and that sort of thing. And so I'm still doing a lot of the same stuff. It's been a lot of fun. We bought a very large video game collection, floor to ceiling of an entire room full of video game stuff. And so that is our first auction, and it's on HiBid. If you guys haven't bid on HiBid before, it's just an online platform, and it starts ending tonight at 6 o'clock my time. So it's 8 p.m. Eastern is when everything starts going final. And so if you want to check it out, actually, you can go to bellasauctionhouse.com. I can actually put a link to it. Let's hold on. Let's see. I'll put a link in the chat here. I can't talk and type at the same time. Um, you can go to Bella's Auction House as our landing page, and there's a link to our eBay store and also to the HiBid. I'm putting all there's 500 plus games or game related things on the auction house's eBay store as well. So you can check that out if you want. And if you want to bid on stuff, you do have to register on HiBid, and you have to you plug in your credit card. When you register for an auction, it'll charge you $1 so it can verify the card. And I think that cycles around and comes back to you after a little bit. So that's what's going on. And so we're going to be live for about 45, 50 more minutes or so until all of those bids start coming in. We're going to have the other partners in the business are going to come in since it's our first one and start sort of a watch party, right? And we're going to hang out and watch the bids come in and hope we see the dollar signs start going up. Right now we have 152 lots. And right now, the bids are at about $5,000 total, which is good. I hope that it finishes at least at 10 is sort of my number. That I would be thrilled if we could get it to 10. So we'll see. I know I'm scrolling back through the chat here. Cristiano said, I'm curious to know how those big house sales happen. The whole house is for sale. It's a crazy concept for me. Like even the buggers on the floor have a price tag. Yeah, yeah. Estate sale. Christian, where are you from? Curious if maybe you don't have estate sales where you're at, but yeah, that's generally, and that's something that the auctions may get into. We actually looked at one, and we ultimately decided to pass on it just for right now. But we're passing it on to another company here in town. We're going to get a finder's fee basically for it, and not have to do any of the estate sale work. We just don't have the manpower right now to do that. But we may work into that, and that's usually a family member passes away and they've got to sell the house. Sometimes it's a living estate sale where people are moving maybe into a retirement community or something like that, and it's a much smaller place to live, and so they got to get rid of a bunch of stuff. There actually is just a moving sale in town this weekend. That's the same sort of deal. They were just moving to a smaller place and sort of moving out some of their things. I can go to that one. And then, sometimes it's probate lawyers end up, somebody will pass away and they don't even have any family. And so usually that goes through probate and the lawyers do that. They have to sell the house. And so they have to sell all the stuff in it. So yeah, estate sales can be really good depending on if it's a family run estate sale. Usually you can get a little bit better prices on things because they're just trying to move it all out. If it's run by a company, they're trying to get top dollar for everything. So not all the time. The one that if you saw this last estate sale that I went to, they're very good and they price fairly, and they price very often with enough margin for resellers to buy stuff and make some money. And they know that. One of the people that helps price the stuff actually works here. Well, works upstairs. Uh, has a vintage booth and works here at the store. She completely understands how this stuff works, and so it's fairly priced for us to make money and still get a good price for a lot of other folks. So, um, other Troy here in Helena, thanks for stopping in, Janet. I know I'm just now getting my mom in the chat. Mom, how's it going? People keep asking about mom, and she's doing great. Hair's coming back and everything. We've got Paige, the 1 foot flipper. Go give him a follow, guys. He's fantastic. Papa Sticks is in. Uh, let's see. Yeah. And then everybody telling me no sound. Ken is here. SSK. Yvonne is here. Justin is in. I'm just scrolling through, and I'm way behind on the chat, guys. So I'm just trying to scroll back through it. Then, so everybody's telling me they can't hear me, and then everybody's telling me that I fixed it. So yeah, and look at that, Roxanne Mountain Mama is in the chat as well. Troy, thanks for checking on, Mama. Mary McQuain is in. Mary, thanks for seeing you. Or thanks for being here. So I can see you. Half my business is when tabletop gaming nerds die young and their families hear about me and I go buy their collection in one shot, says the 1 foot flipper. Yeah, Paige has all sorts of gaming stuff. Uh, yeah, and that happens too, right? Like, and if we get our name out enough, we are starting to have people sort of walk in, and we have radio ads running. So we had somebody hear about it on the radio, and they came in, and so they may end up buying some stuff in our auction tonight. Um, so we're advertising that way. We're advertising in Facebook groups and stuff like that. But the more we're a brand new company, so the more we get our name out there and say, hey, this is what we do. We buy collections. I've got a name and number for a couple of people, a couple other folks in the company have made some contacts that have come to them, and so now we have to go and check out their stuff and decide, is it stuff we want to buy? Is it stuff we want to consign for them? Is it maybe stuff that's just not our stuff, right? And that may be. So that's what we've got going on. And so hopefully word of mouth, there isn't an online auction house here in town. And so we're the only one. So we're hoping that the business takes off. It's going to take a little bit to dig our way out of the hole. But you know what? I'm excited. And I think things are going very well. And we've got a great group of folks. And look at this. I got a notification. So I clicked up on the bell. And the Philly Fliper is live. Taking some of the folks out. Look at that. Frizzy's Finds is in the house. Thanks for stopping in, man. You guys go check out. I'm leaning down here to grab the laptop. I want to check in on the auction. Frizzy's Finds is in. Go follow them. And they have fantastic shows, by the way, on Whatnot. and then, on Instagram, putting up good reels. I don't do as well at Instagram lately as I should, so apologize for the folks that are following me on there. It's one of the things that kind of fell aside when I was trying to do a lot of stuff, but we're starting to gain footing here, and now I think we're going to be, doing a lot better. But, if you look, I'll show you rather than split the screen and mess myself up there. Here's our landing page for the HiBid auction. I don't even know if this is in the screen. Let me switch over to StreamYard. So yeah, so there it is. That's what it looks like, and you click on bidding open, and you can see. Let me get down in there. So there's all the. I took all the pictures for all this stuff, just because that's what I do on eBay, right? So I'm the one that kind of knows how to list things online, and so these are all our various lots. We have 152 of them up for grabs. Last I checked, 104 had bids, but I've got to go through and like find and search and find out how that's going. So I don't know what the number is right now, but it's looking good. I'm excited to see how this thing goes in. I'm curious how many of you guys uh, buy. I know like Kat, the nurse, she buys a ton of stuff on HiBid. So I'm curious, and we actually a viewer of the channel actually sent me a message through our HiBid auction. We're getting some people approved right now, actually, that have registered. We had a preview today during we run a flea market down in the basement of the vintage store. This was our second one. We've started sort of during the winter months when here in Montana there's nothing going on. And so we have another 2 dozen vendors that set up down here in temporary spots. And so very cool. We did very well in our booth today. 32 items, I think we sold something like that out of our booth upstairs. We ran a 10% off sale, and people were buying a lot of stuff out of the booth. I was seeing stuff coming in. I'm glad to see stuff sell, but then I'm looking at it, go, man, I got to restock that thing now because there's some holes, and so I'm going to have to take care of that. But yeah, I'm looking at we've got 60. Let me refresh it and see how many bidders that we have registered now. 65. So pretty good. So yeah, yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't see any that I have to. I'm trying to see if there's any that I had to approve right now that I didn't, so I didn't miss that. But it looks like we're good. We are up to right now $5,300 of bids. So very cool. I'm very happy with that. Let me know when the next sale is. We can stop by. Yeah, it's going to be. And I got a message. I gotta check that out. It's gonna be, I believe, March 23rd and 24th. I think that's a Friday, Saturday. And so we'll have I believe I got to double check that the flea market is going to be running at the same time, but I believe it will. So we'll do the flea market in conjunction with the preview where people can come and look at the items in person if they want to. Today was as much about that as people coming in and sort of realizing, oh, you have an auction house, and so they maybe say, hey, I've got a collection. Or I talked with multiple people that have gaming collections if they want to sort of, sort of pare it down a little bit, that sort of thing. And we sold a lot of stuff. It wasn't even listed yet. They would ask, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? I do. It's just, it's not put up anywhere yet because it's so much stuff. I don't have time to get to it all right away. So, we sold a lot of stuff out of here today. And so that was very good. So, all in all, really, really good day. I'm very happy with how everything turned out. I was looking, we got a new uh, message. I'm trying to open it up. There's no actual message attached. I don't know what happened there. It said we received a message and there's actually no there's no body to the message, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what happened. Maybe they'll send another message. But yeah, I was asking and I squirreled myself, if you guys bid on HiBid at all, if that's something that you do. I know Cat the Nurse Flipper bids a lot on HiBid in particular, and so I'm curious, ours is at least for this one, it's not necessarily built for reselling, though when I put the lots up, if there's a game that's worth I used eBay sold comps basically to get a good idea and gauge how what the sales price should be. And so if there's something that the history shows that sells for between 40 and $60. A lot of times, the opening bid is like 30, right? So you could still potentially buy it and flip it and make a little bit of profit. Most of our stuff isn't really built for that, and most of it is for the collector. Though I do have a few lots on there of games, so I guess you could buy that um, and then piece it out, right? Uh, but a lot of it is really built in this auction and probably the next one for the collector. That's auction 2 behind me that I'm currently building. It's gonna be about 80 or 90 lots of video game stuff, and then we're consigning some stuff. You can see some G.I. Joe things, on the top shelf and underneath, and even they're on all the shelves. I'm still working on getting that loaded, but we're consigning that, for somebody here in town, so we're gonna try and sell their stuff. And the way it works is, for consignment on HiBid, we have it set up. There is a little bit of a staggering scale, so the higher end stuff, the percentages change, but in general, the basic rule is that 70% goes to the consigner, and we get 30%. So it's a pretty fair deal. We're doing in-house shipping for all of our stuff and not using third-party service, so that makes the shipping a little bit cheaper. A lot of auction houses I found are charging, very high per lot or per auction, either one, fees, like shipping and handling, basically. They charge a handling fee. Some of them are really high, and so we didn't wanna do that. We're trying to make it affordable for people. A lot of the hammer there's a on auctions, there's a fee at the end, that's sometimes 15, 20%. Ours is 10. So, we set it, the fee, we set it at affordable rate, I hope. Um, Mom is saying hi to Mountain Mama sitting out there. She waved at you. I You can't see that, Mom. Cristiano says, "Have you done bidding on storage units?" I've owned 1 unit. I bought a bunch of, uh, pretty much oh, look, is she gonna there's yeah, it's too high, you can't even see. Yeah, I'm set up on this weird, like though this is delayed, so maybe you were on there. There you are. I gotta go over to StreamYard and you can see. So Mountain Mama, the pretty one of the pair, though I have the better beard. Um, and then there's Miss Joe walking in. We're live on YouTube, Miss Joe.
Hi, how are
She
ya?
says hi from behind the camera. She's one of the partners, mom of the mom-daughter combo that opened the video store upstairs. Joe is fantastic. Um, I've bid on one well, that's not true. I've bid on some online and just not won some of them, but I did buy one locker, it might be 2 years ago now. I don't have the capacity to store a lot of stuff, so I have to be very picky about the stuff that I'm getting when it comes to storage lockers. We bought it was like there was a BMX bike in there that I knew at the level that I bid, I could pay off the unit with just that, and I sold that locally, and we made our money back. And then they had, a couple boxes of old magazines that are doing well, like old sneaker magazines and stuff like that, and they did well initially, and then I still have leftovers. Every now and then, one of them sells for 10, $12. And then they had a whole bunch of little kid shoes. It was a lot of Nikes, but it was like the little toddler shoes. There weren't really any full size shoes in there. I've sold a lot of them, but still like the magazines. There's a bunch straggling, and so they're still selling. It's just slowly, but every time flip that up. Every time one sells, it's profit. So, um, sorry, my glasses are being weird today. Um, do you get more? And I do go, Cristiano. I do actually go to storage auctions sometimes. We have a few live ones. They're actually starting to shift more to online. The one that I've been going to decided they're going to try the online. So that's a bummer 'cause I actually like going to them. But very often it's just it's like a 10 by 20 unit that's just packed to the gills. There's profit in there. I don't have time to make all the dump runs and throw away the mattresses and the dirty couch, to pull the profit out, right? And so I have to buy the right unit that fits for me, and so I haven't bought a lot of them, but I go now and then just to see what's out there. Uh, Are You Bizarre is in. Hey, thanks for stopping in, David Smith in from West Virginia. Janet's fantastic, by the way. Do you get more business through social media platforms or just getting out and talking to people directly? Well, do you mean for the store and for the auction house? I assume. It's really helped because all the people that we have as part of the deal. One of them owns a business downtown. He sells like gold, silver coins, and other like vintage to antique Montana items, right? So he has people walk into his business, and so he makes connections that way. As a reseller, you make connections with other people around, and so I've met a lot of people, and so I have connections. One of our owners of the building of the store, she actually lives in Great Falls. It's a town, it's an hour and a half drive. So she knows people there, so we have connections that way. So we're all resellers, so we all have connections at different places on different, like the game thing. That was a connection that I had made, and I wasn't able to purchase it myself. It was, I'd had to go and get a small business loan to to buy, what we did personally, and I frankly don't have storage capacity for all of that. It's a lot of stuff. Um, so when we decided to form the group, I was like, "You know what? I think I have our first purchase. I think I have a good idea for where we could go first." And we're doing well. We've sold like 200 plus items on eBay, actually. So, video games sell well, so we've been doing well. So the nice thing though, having the store also is that people walk in and you just sometimes they walk in directly saying, "Hey, buy fill in the blank." And sometimes it's just an item or 2 that they have. But, then sometimes it's, "Hey, I actually have a lot of stuff at home." And then you can work into that conversation, and maybe it's something that we're gonna go look at, and uh, I've got 2 numbers in my wallet of, some folks that's what happened. One guy, he says, "I'm 82 years old, I've been picking since I was 31." I don't know what he's got. He says he's got a little of everything. He's been picking for 50 years. He probably has some cool stuff. So, yeah, Are You Bizarre? Are You Bizarre? Sorry, Big Sky Paranormal. Yeah, that's our second, if you haven't checked it out, that's our second, YouTube channel. Very small. I haven't done a ton of work on it, lately because I haven't been out doing any we go and do, um, like, overnight. I stay locked up in, various haunted places. We've been in, a brothel, and in some old, shacks that used to be where some very poor people and criminals, basically used to live back in, the mining boom. I've been, where else have we been? We've been all over the place. We've been to a lot of places. I actually have set up a couple of trips for the spring, so we do have a couple more investigations for sure coming. And then there's a chance that I am gonna get connected with another place actually here in town, and go check that out. And actually, we've done a little bit, upstairs. We've got some weird things that happen. We had actually one of our Nintendo things we had sitting on a display case, and there was actually a customer in here and saw it happen along with the person working the counter. There was something that actually, like, flew off of the, little display case. He said it didn't fall. It launched off of the thing. So it was interesting because a customer saw it, right? And so there's been some weirdness happening here, and I've done a little bit here too, which has, been kinda cool. So, yeah, Mom Says Haunted Hospital. Yeah, that was the very first one. I went to an old, I guess, abandoned hospital. Um, let's see, in the garage sell options season. Have you ever thought about, do some tourism video? Yeah, show stuff like show historical places around you. I love the videos you show the scenery going to sale. Yeah, man, I did that the one time going to the 50-mile sale and, showed some scenery. I'm going to that again. It's really Montana's only big, long sale, and it's through a beautiful part of the state in the Bitterroot Valley, and so we'll probably do that again. And yeah, that's something I thought about is going and showing. I take it for granted, right? Because it's just I look out and like, "Oh, that's my backyard. It's the mountains," right? And, I shouldn't because it's a beautiful place to live, and so too often I think we just, take the things that we're used to for granted, and so, yeah, I should show, more scenery for sure. Um, have you ever bought something you later thought was haunted, like the Annabelle doll. You know what? I have had a couple of weird things. Like, I had one thing that came in, um, what was it? Oh, it was actually a doll, actually. It was a clown, like a creepy clown, and I got it at an estate sale, and weirdly, the lady, I didn't have a tag, and there was other dolls, but this one was, like, set way off to the side, and the lady was I asked her how much, and she was like, "Oh, just get it out of here." And she was really, like, kinda weirded out about it, and then literally the day after I store all my stuff in the garage, and the day after, the light bulbs all blew out in my garage, and then the day after that, when I went to lift up the garage door, the spring, the garage door springs, I mean, big, it snapped, like, as it was going up, it snapped in half. Um, and so and then there was one day where I thought I heard, like, like, the old, music, like, that the ice cream truck would play, like, carnival-y sounding. Could've sworn I heard that one. I had to get that thing out. It was creepy, and we got it out. So, yeah, and there's weirdness upstairs with some of the things we have, 100%, 100%. So yeah, go check out if you guys haven't, go, search on YouTube for Big Sky Paranormal. We got like 500 subs. We actually are to the point, at least sub-wise, where we could get monetized on that channel. I just gotta build up the watch hours, and so which means I gotta put more content on there, right? And so that's coming. But go check out Big Sky Paranormal. That's sort of the side passion project. It's a lot of fun. Sign up link for HiBid or just sign up. Yeah, I don't you just found some hats. Yeah, there's hat man, you can buy great stuff on there. I don't have a sign up link, man. I should look and see if there is something like that, but I don't have one. Are you doing the bitter yeah, Troy, I'm doing the Bitterroot for sure. I don't know if I'm going to do, both days. Um, it depends. I'll look and see what's there. I actually, um, I haven't had great luck on the 2nd day. I found things, but the 1st day you find all sorts of stuff, and then the 2nd day, everything's been hit so hard, it's a lot harder, and so you've gotta pick really hard to pull out one thing at a sale at a time, right? And I've still found some gems that way, it's just a lot harder, and I end up going uh, to stay in a hotel, and then in the back of my mind, when I'm finding great stuff, I'm like, "Oh, great, that's gonna sell for $100," right? But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Oh, but my hotel was 120, right?" And so I'm still in the hole. And so I don't like thinking about, trying to dig myself out of the hole immediately. So what I think I'm gonna do is what I did last time is, get up I have to you gotta get up really early, like, I think I left at, like, 3 in the morning or something. But I just leave and drive up there and do it all day long and fill up the car and then come home. Rather than if I'm there for 2 days before, I've kinda cut it off around 3, 4 o'clock because picking gets harder then anyway, and then call it a night to get ready and get up early the next day. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I wanna do a hotel or not and do 2 full days or if I just do 1 completely full day. I don't know. For you guys that go to the multi-day sales, the long sales, like I said, this is the only one we have in Montana, as far as I'm aware, and so I don't have a ton of experience. I have experience with that one, but I don't have experience with these others that are very long multi-state, sales. Here's what you guys do, if it's worth it, and maybe for those long ones that are like hundreds of miles, you can still find good stuff on day 2 because it's just more spread out, right? And the thing with Montana is, because we only have the one, it's like sales here. You saw the estate sale video. It was the only one in town on Thursday, and so every picker, every junker, every garage sailor, everybody was at one sale. And so even on busy weekends here, we might not have more than 15, 20 sales. And so everybody shows up at those sales, and so everything disappears very quickly. The same is true for the 50 mile, really, because you get people coming over from, like, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, you get people from, and so it's hit really, really hard from all sides. My strategy usually is start in the middle and either go north or south. And so then at least the first half of the day, I'm usually, not in a crowd because people start at one end or the other. And so usually I start in the middle and go one direction. So and that's just based on I dig through and I find the first sale that I wanna go to of the stuff that's already listed, and I hit that sale right away, and then I wander one direction or the other. So, David says, "Just sub to your paranormal page. Didn't know you had that." Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Go check it out. We've got a couple of videos from upstairs here in the store, actually. I decided when I was, helping out a couple times at the counter and just weirdness was happening, uh, I pulled out a couple of toys and, I played around up there just to see what was happening. We've had weird things happening here. Oh, my friend is coming in. "What's up, Willie? What's up? Come here. Come here, Willis. Willie, come here." Aw, we got the dogs in here. I was gonna show you the dog. Um, we've had some weirdness going on in the store, like, phantom smells. People have smelled perfume. That's right, Lucy, what's up? We've had, the, um, Alexa thing randomly started playing a movie one time. We couldn't even figure out how to do it on our own. It was fighting with us, and we couldn't get it to work. It was just playing one, stopped it, came in the next day, and another one was it had been turned off, and came in the next day, I guess, and another one was playing. Like, weird stuff happens in this place. It's so weird. Uh, we actually had I've got a generator. It's like a word bank, right? And the idea being that, things can manipulate it and pick out words and spit them out, like, well, we were running it up there one day, and there's these really old doors, like these carriage doors, and they're on the wall, and that's where some goofiness had happened. You can watch the video, and you can find out, like, what happened, but it spit out the word when we were at the moment we were talking about the doors, it spit out the word Larry. They were purchased from a guy named Larry. So that was cool. Vinyl selling well. Yeah, man. I sell vinyl both in the store, here and stuff that sells in the store doesn't even, some of it is stuff that wouldn't sell online. So vinyl sells very well. You guys can come in here. You don't have to hang out outside. All right, yeah, talk about me out there. That's fine. Um, vinyl, I sell vinyl pretty well in the store. I actually started bringing in some cassette tapes because vinyl was selling well, and I thought I'll bring in some cassette tape and see if that sells. And it's slow, but it's actually been selling. Um, and then yeah, I sell vinyl online. It's got to be like anything else. You got to pick the right stuff, right? So you got to check sell through and stuff like that. If you look back on my videos, there was one big vinyl buy that I made, largely a bunch of country music, and I might do a follow up on that video here pretty soon. We've made over $1,000 on that by now. We've actually done very well. Look at Sarah Breeze coming over. This is delayed, so you don't know if you're on. Hold on, we'll go to StreamYard. There she is. Hello. Sarah Bree, also one of the partners here and a part owner of the store. Yeah, there you are. Yeah. So Jethro Tull, I may. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at my stuff at home to be honest with you. Half the stuff I have, I don't know that I have. So, you're staying Troy staying in Missoula. Yeah, cool. So you're staying in Missoula for the weekend, doing some sourcing and vacation. Yeah, if you head early, sometimes that's a good thing about these the multi-day sales too. Is that if you head in early, like officially the sale starts and it runs Friday, Saturday, right? Sometimes people will start early and they'll start like on a Thursday. And so if you're there already, you can scope it out and you can get into some really good deals because the whole crowd isn't there yet on a Thursday. So sometimes they start early and you can get really good deals. Um, Jerry says, "I used to sell just 45s on eBay a couple years ago. There isn't much demand for them." Yeah, 45 unless it's Northern Soul, Funk, Beatles, Rolling Stone. I, I've got actually a whole tote of them. I bought some other stuff from the guy. I got a really, cool old, telephone. I bought, um, the singing I got, Billy Bass. That's what I'm trying to think of. Bought one of those from him, still new in the box, and some really cool old stuff, both for online and for here in the store, and he had all these, 45s in a cup, and most of them are loose, but some were, like, in the sleeves, and so I thought, "Well, you know what? The ones in the sleeves, I'll take a look at it." And then I pulled them out, the sleeve, at least the handful, like, this stack, the sleeve doesn't match the vinyl inside. So it's literally a tote, and so I'm gonna have to spread them out on the floor one day and try to play mix and match. So I haven't yet. But yeah, 45s are tough. I've noticed that. I got it from him because I got other good stuff, and he was such a cool dude. But, yeah, that's gonna be a project. So, searching for old bands, hard to find them, only band yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Um, so we're gonna go for, like, another what is it? 5:37. We're gonna go for, like, another 10 minutes or so, and then we got a watch party going on in here, and we're gonna watch the stuff come in. So if you wanna watch as well, just remotely, yeah, get on, I can put the address in there again. Actually, I can put the address directly to the auction. Let me find that. Uh, Here it is. Is this page 1? It is page 1. So I can put the link directly to the auction that we're running right now, and then when we get the other one up, the other one will show up in a week, week and a half. Give me a week and a half to finish because 'cause I'm still building it, but, it'll show up on on our page. So bellasauctionhouse.com, get a link to it, or, right here, I just put the link directly to the one that's running right now. It's gonna start lots start ending in about 20 minutes. So, I'm gonna cut this thing off in about 10 so I can group up with folks, and we got some food, and we're gonna start, then the next round of crazy starts, right, where we're trying to sort things as they sell, and, yeah, so it'll be fun. Dina is in. Dina, thanks for stopping in. Janet wants to know if I've ever bought something and realized it was worth more than you thought. Any regret buys, of course. I buy so many things that I'm like, "Why did I buy this?" It's sitting in the death pile, I just discover it again, and you're like, "Where did this come from? Why did I buy it?" Or there are things that you buy that you just assume are worth something, and you get it home and actually do the research, and it's just not. That just happens. That's why you gotta be good about when you buy stuff, you got to get a good price on it, right? So that at least you can break even on your mistakes, right? Or you do the best you can, or you save it, you bundle it with something else, and maybe cut your losses. Um, but yeah, I mean, I buy stuff that I didn't, the Bible. If you guys saw the recent video where I bought the old missal, the Latin Catholic missal, I had no idea what it was worth. They sold at auction for $700 plus. I had no idea. I bought a Tom Clark little figurine years back, my first really big, win for $5. It sold for 1,300. I had no idea. I thought they looked cool. They might be valuable. I bought 4 of them for $20. 3 of them were worth about 20, 25 bucks a piece, right? Like, just the standard for Tom Clark type stuff. One was super early, very, very rare, and sold for, 1,300. I took an offer of $1,300. So yeah, I mean, I find stuff, and that's what happens when you buy weird stuff, right? So you're going to find stuff, and that's why for me, having a subscription to WorthPoint is worth it, right? It's a little expensive, but if you find rando weird stuff, it's good to have. Though Terapeak, I saw in the latest eBay update, Terapeak goes back now. Is it 3 years? I think they extended how long Terapeak is available, the information on that. So that's cool. You can get longer information on Terapeak, which is definitely helpful. If you look on eBay and the split comps only go back 90 days. So Terapeak, which is available to everybody, it used to be available only if you had a store. It is available to everybody now. So check that out. Terapeak is a super, super good tool. So yeah, anybody have any questions at all? Any other questions? I saw we have. Let me look over here. How many do we have in here? 36 in here right now. That's cool. I think that's for us. It's been a long time since we've done a live. First time I've ever done a live, not in the house. Actually, it's right here, Tyler. I was looking at it. Tyler doesn't want to be on the interwebs here. Tyler's hiding. That's just his screen name. His name isn't even Tyler. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've done a. There's Farmer Mark swinging in at the end. The star of today's video, Mark. Any of those books sell? Um, we actually had the Nerdy Picker came in and bought, I think, it out of my store today. And so that's cool. She bought that, and I think a cassette tape that I also got from Queen that I got on the second day of that sale. I swung in for a couple of minutes. So yeah, thanks for doing that. We sold Christine sold. I took an offer of I think $17 on that, and that sold today. And then the one that in the video that was to waiting for the sale to actually come through and for them to pay, that sold for 40. So we're doing pretty well off of that. Yeah, you priced them high to start, but you should price those high for sure. That one, I mean, that one, Bachman books was such a good grab. Well done, man, Mark. You guys should check Mark's store out because he has great merchandise and he's just so smart. He's been doing this for a very long time and knows so much. And it's been a pleasure to kind of learn from him. I got one of the dogs in here rolling around, distracting me. Hey, loose. So it's been a lot of fun learning from Mark also. But yeah, price something like Mark does here. If you find something that's relatively rare and really good shape, price it high. Price it high. You know, and wait. So, got a couple more minutes. Let's do 2 3 more minutes. Anybody have any questions? And then we'll wrap things up. And what did I saw Paige worst buy was 20 years ago. 100 Star Trek VHS tapes for $200. Oh, was it the series? Like when they put them on VHS tapes? Yeah, I still see it like the next generation is on VHS. Uh, yeah, you see that at various sales, and they generally price it pretty high. Just don't go. It's too bad. Um, yeah. Anybody else have any questions? The crew is out there waiting for me. So, and then we'll follow up. I'll for sure do a follow up on the auction and let people know how everything went for sure. But I just thought, I'm sitting here, we're waiting for the auction to finish, and it'd be a cool chance to chat, and just hang out. So figured we'd do a little 45 minute, which means we've got about a minute left. The Columbia House. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, use a case. Oh, I like that. Using the cases to ship it. That's a great idea. Will there be a quiz? Only for Brian since he didn't show up. So Brian's gonna get a quiz. Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna wrap it up so that we can get all set up for this thing. Getting ready to go. There's gonna be a lot of paperwork and invoices and sorting and shipping, and it's an entirely new thing. We're learning as we go. So I'll let you know the bumps, the bruises, and the wins when we follow up on this next week. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for this one. I got to cut it off because we got to get out there and get ready for this thing to go final. So thanks for hanging out with us down here in the cave.